What is every human being's greatest fear? Being forgotten. They say, don't you forget about me. Don't let the plague doctor take me away. And don't you forget about me. Don't let him erase my memories from your lives. Don't let him erase them from your lives. Don't let the memories fade from your minds. Don't you forget about me. The Harbinger was written, directed, edited, and composed by Andy Mitten, who did Yellow Brick Road, Follow the Yellow Brick Road, Follow the horror of Yellow Brick Road. No. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with the musical stuff, I promise, except I'm probably not. Also did We Go On. True, we do go on. Unless we don't feel like going on, we feel like shutting off and shutting ourselves away from the outside world. Also did The Witch in the Window. How much is that witch in the window? Okay, I lied. I'm sorry. This takes place during the height of the pandemic. Oh, 2020, how I have not missed you at all. And actually, this is probably one of the best pandemic horror movies that I've seen. Now, granted, that is kind of a shallow pool. In all honesty, there are some that really were not very good, Sick in particular. But this actually utilizes the pandemic in the best way possible because it makes it seem like our memories are just fading away, like we're stuck in a rut, we're stuck, with brain fog. We don't actually remember every single person in our lives, even people that we know we interacted with. Like, I know that person, I've seen that person over there, and I swear I know them, but I just can't think of it. Or somebody that passed away, and the memories will fade. Because Metallica's wrong. Fortune, fame, mirror vein, gone insane. The memories, they don't remain. Like in Ronald Reagan. Nevertheless, this stars Emily Davis as Mavis. Mavis is certainly an interesting name. A name that, by the way, would have probably been given to a midwife back in the 17th century. Nevertheless. Also, Monique, played by Gabby Beans. That sounds like the name of an enhancement talent from a WCW television program in the early 90s. I'm not knocking Gabby. Actually, it's just that's the first thought I had. These are the two central characters, and other characters are around. That's usually how movies work. You focus on a couple people, unless you just want to focus on everybody, and then you're unfocused, and you're so fucking focused that you lose the match. And what am I on about? Who goddamn knows? You have Raymond Anthony Thomas. It sounds like a name way too snooty to be in a horror movie, but not with this particular one. He plays Ronald, Monique's dad. And then there are other people, including a demonologist. That's Laura Heisler, who is gorgeous. Good grief. More movies of her, please. What else has she been in? I should check out her IMDb for the full listing. So, yes, this movie takes place during the pandemic. There is Monique, played by Gabby. She receives a phone call from her friend Mavis, played by Emily Davis, who has such bad nightmares, such vivid nightmares, that she is literally clawing her arm and trying to wake up. Because she has to wake up, grab her brush, put on a little makeup. Why do you leave your keys up on the table? You wanted to, and that's the second time I have referred to System of a Down in the last couple reviews. I have some issues. But anyway, it does take place during the pandemic, and Monique has sheltered in with her dad, with her brother, and they're doing everything they can, staying close, working their jobs, masking up, all that shit. And let me just tell you, this gave me some bad memories working in my shop, or working at my place. Good goddamn Christ. Even though I was wearing one, there were some people that didn't. Let's just say this much. Regardless of how you feel about illnesses and stuff like that, people that were mocking others, for trying to protect themselves, that was ridiculous. There were some pandemic deniers, such as a landlord lady that is in this movie, and I just want to say she reminded me of every single goddamn person that tried to basically be a goddamn bitch at my job. Nevertheless, this centers around Monique and Mavis, and after we see a particular scene with Mavis, Monique gets called. After celebrating her dad's birthday, she goes off to help her friend that she knew that helped her through a really, really dark time. And once she gets to her apartment, there's a really sick kid that's not doing very well. That's not doing well at all. And also, there's this weird, sinister feeling and this plague doctor that's around. No, not Marty Skrull, because these girls were of age. If you are a wrestling fan, you get it. If you are not, you are wildly confused by a lot of these references. Then again, that's kind of what I do because I'm just a weird movie reviewer, because I'm generally weird. This movie's also a bit weird, but it's also a bit grounded in reality somehow. Is it perfect? No. I think it gets a little bit too topsy-turvy, twisty-turny for its own good at times, but enough of it, a lot of it actually, is grounded in enough reality where people don't want to be forgotten, and the pandemic's a perfect setting for this. Because I can tell you right now, even though I do have memories of stuff that happened in 2020, 2021, generally, until like the later part of 2021, for about an 18-month period, I'm just at a loss. I'm at a goddamn loss. Movies I reviewed, I have to go back and look at my playlist or lists that I have saved up, that I have in a filing system, and I have to look at some stuff, and I'm like, I don't remember reviewing this. Did I watch this movie? Did I do this? Did I do that? And that touches on this, and does it really well. You have to wonder what's real, what's a nightmare, what's not, though it is pretty obvious what is a nightmare, and this movie does feature a lot of nightmare sequences, but oh ho ho, it doesn't beat you over the head with it, and it ends up actually being very well shot, very well filmed, kind of freaky enough to where, yes, it does rely on some familiar tropes. There are some jump scares that you could see coming from a mile away. And is this the most wholly original story? No. And I'm not even knocking Andy Mitten there. There are similarities to other movies, a lot of movies, quite frankly, but the way it's handled, Andy proves that he actually is a really skilled director and writer. And taking familiarity, cliches, and boosting them up with some good performances. Gabby and Emily really do a good job here. And then other peripheral characters do a good job being, a little bit freaked out. And there's a lot of discussions about memories. And I think I remember this person, but I don't really. And then there's talks of bad ideas being planted and spreading like sickness and all that. It turns out to actually be something that isn't just for the pandemic, is just in general. Like, sometimes you can get thoughts in your head and they don't leave, and you're worried about being forgotten. I think everybody is. Part of the reason why I leave these videos on a YouTube channel. That way, just in case I happen to, suddenly not be here, maybe there's some memories that can live on. But we all have our ways that we want to be remembered. We all have our ways that we want to try to remember people we cared about. That's really what this is about. It is on Tubi. It's also available on Amazon. Tubi's a great streaming service if you just want to put up with some ads, and you can get a lot of movies. And this was really surprising. I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did, but within the first 10 to 15 minutes, I go, okay, this is in the hands of a skilled director and writer, and it turns out to be pretty goddamn good. I highly recommend you guys check it out. One of definitely the upper echelon of independent horror movies that have come out this year. So now let's get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so the whole idea is that Mavis is so freaked out that she calls her friend, and she's all panicked. And actually, Emily Davis does a really good job capturing this tension. I'd like to see more stuff that she's in. I would like to see her get some roles in some bigger movies. Nothing wrong with this. I'm just saying this would be a good start. Gabby Means does a really good job as well. Everybody's worried about being forgotten. Makes sense. There's the description of the dreams that Emily Davis does, talking about walking along and everything. This is after they had demasked, realized that they were not sick. They weren't going to get each other sick, even though there was a sick boy, but he's all the way up on the 4th floor. That evidently is right above them. But nevertheless, there's no way that can get through the wall, so they're fine. And because Monique was there, or, well, rather, Mavis was there for a dark time during Monique's life, she wants to help her at any point. Because there was a time where Monique even had a day carved out that she was going to, not going to say the word. But yeah, don't do that. Help is out there. Friends, family, just somebody. Help is out there. And Mavis is worried she's going to be forgotten because this plague doctor, this guy, keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And suddenly Monique gets a call. She forgets to text her family, since she's going right into the heart of the infected area, so to speak. The dad's sick, apparently. And then she's having visions. Then she's having visions, plague doctor, all this, the Harbinger, as it were. The kid died. That's what you get for being a kid and getting sick, you little shit. In all seriousness, the poor kid. I mean, He did fall down through this dream sequence, fell down through the ceiling, then the plague doctor just shows up and pokes his head down, hanging upside down. Hi, I'm here. I don't know what that sound is. So Monique, yeah, she has another flashback to when she was with her mother, worried about that she forgot the grandmother. She's going to be forgotten when she dies. And was she really sick? Was she not? These are questions. These are genuine questions. Is it all stuff in her head? Is it a fever dream? Is it just a virus that she has? What is actually happening? A lot of these things are left open to interpretation. She ends up in a weird corpse truck. There's a lot of weird imagery. Some things that add up and some things I think that were just put there for shock value. And then they talk to the demonologist, Wendy. Again, Laura Heisler, who is beautiful. Very beautiful. Nevertheless, she says, this is what it is. It's a bad idea. You don't want to do this. It gets inside you and feeds. And, oh, you have this image. Well, burn that and delete the post that you had, or otherwise I'm not going to talk to you. And from there, it has to be, is the idea just in your head so much that you're letting it eat at your soul, or is it actually something coming out to get you? And someone planted the seed. Mavis sees a picture of somebody that she's not actually sure she remembers, but it's a guy in her apartment. Past loved one. She's got the brain fog. She got whatever it is. And the creepy kid, Edward, the one that died, that fell through the ceiling in Monique's dream, he's trying to help her. There is a way to stop him. She ends up hanging a bone saw on the wall because bone saw is ready. God, it's hard to do a Randy Savage impression with a shot voice. But suddenly, Monique wakes up and the apartment's empty. She couldn't wake Mavis up and then the apartment's empty. I mean empty, just totally empty. The landlord shows up like, what the heck's going on? He doesn't remember Mavis. Maybe Mavis was never there. Maybe Mavis never existed. Or maybe so much time has gone together, has just blended together because Mavis is gone. She was taken by the plague doctor and that's it. And that's really the only way to describe me. It's plague doctor. And she's waking up. She's not really sure what the hell is going on. She ends up back at her house, and her father and brother put her in her room, and then she ends up waking back up in the apartment, in Mavis's apartment. And she's trying to help her. She's trying to help her. And it's just not going well. And, the plague doctor's close by. She attacks, gouges his eyes, or its eyes, grabs the bone saw and cuts his head off. Yay! Meanwhile, one thing I do want to mention is that Wendy said that these dreams, it is every character in your dream. It is every part of your dream. You can't trust anybody. You could wake up eventually, but once he gets inside, you're pretty much screwed. That's important. Edward says, oh, you did it, and let her in, or let him in. And he's out by this wintry area. He goes to take her out there because she had this weird dream that her mother, was calling her in a wintry area. She goes to sleep. She wakes back up. She's been asleep for 3 days. The dad is coming back home, seemingly. Maybe? Maybe he's coming back home? The demonologist is talking to her, and then she says, oh, this boy Edward, he's an angel. He told me how to kill it. And she said, wait a second. He's a tool in every single one of your dreams. Every bit of, every character is somebody related to the plague doctor. And then she's taken away. While the brother has no idea what's going on because her memories vanish from his mind. And then the dad is brought home because the dad was sick. He actually was sick. And one theme that was in this that the dad said earlier in the movie was he referred to the mother who is dead. Her ashes are in an urn. And also that, he referred to Monique as a sparrow. Now, she had drawn a picture of a sparrow before she left for Mavis's apartment. Mavis, who may or may not have existed. And then from there, he sees the picture of the sparrow, and maybe a memory's going to keep, stay in there. And she actually isn't going to be forgotten. But that was bleak and depressing as fuck. Good Lord. Good job, Andy Minton. Now I want to walk into traffic. No, in all seriousness, this actually was a pretty damn good horror movie. And I recommend it. I recommend it. Even with its flaws, even with its cliches. Well done. Well done for what I assume was a fairly low-budget effort, but it had heart and ingenuity and pacing. A. I give it an A. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.